In an unusual development, the Chinese People's Liberation Army (PLA) Navy's Liaoning aircraft carrier group was recently spotted sailing close to Guam, a major U.S. military outpost in the Pacific. Chinese J-11 fighter almost bangs into American aircraft flying over South China Sea, U.S. releases statement equipped with on-the-go oxygen. Chinese soldiers look to outdo Indian Army along the Himalayan Lake. Earlier this month, the PLA Navy's aircraft carrier Liaoning crossed the Miyako Strait and entered the West Pacific for routine training with a record number of Type 055 heavy destroyers serving as its escorts. It has conducted several maneuvers since then in a massive show of force far away from its shores. Guam is a frontline U.S. territory in the Pacific and will act as a staging ground in case of a conflict between the U.S. and China in the Indo-Pacific region. It is home to the U.S. Air Force bases that host strategic bombers and nuclear-powered submarines. China considers the island of Guam as a nodal point in the second island chain. In 2019, media reports suggested that a Chinese Liaoning aircraft carrier strike group sailed near Guam on its way to conduct maneuvers in the Taiwan Strait and the disputed South China Sea. However, the timing of the latest Liaoning voyage near Guam is significant for several reasons. Intriguingly, the Chinese Liaoning carrier's sail near Guam on December 25 coincided with PLA's cross-service Joint Combat Alert patrols and joint fire strike exercises around Taiwan. These military drills were conducted in retaliation to U.S. President Joe Biden signing the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2023, allowing Washington to finance weapons for Taipei. The messaging here could be interpreted as political, with China telling its archenemy that the PLA was ready for tit-for-tat by threatening Guam if the U.S. continued to aid Taiwan's military. This became perceptible with the comments of noted Chinese military experts. For instance, PLA expert and observer Song Jhumping told the Global Times that Liaoning's exercises in the West Pacific certainly had a tactical purpose since they demonstrated its improved capacity for capturing air superiority and maintaining control of the sea far from the homeland. Some analysts told the state-owned media that China won't ever attack U.S. military installations on Guam if the U.S. military doesn't invade China or meddle in the Taiwan issue. However, they added that having such capability serves as deterrence against future U.S. provocations. This means that if the U.S. were to support Taiwan militarily, Guam could become a sitting target for the PLA. China has made no bone of its intent to attack the Andersen Air Force Base in Guam if the need rises. Guam remains under threat. Besides the Liaoning carrier battle group, Chinese H-6J/K bombers also entered the Pacific Ocean earlier this month and reached Tokyo Island, roughly 1,600 kilometers from Guam Island. As previously observed by Eurasian Times, the Andersen AFB can quickly come under attack from the 2,000-kilometer range CJ-20 air-launched cruise missiles, ALCM, and the YJ-12 anti-ship missile, which is almost impossible to intercept. The Andersen Air Force Base in Guam, U.S., can host B-1, B-2, and B-52 strategic bombers, all equipped to launch nuclear weapons. Furthermore, the Andersen Air Force Complex is the only U.S. base in the Western Pacific equipped to house heavy bombers for an extended period, and it takes up most of the island's northern part. Not just bombers but even submarines can safely launch operations from Guam. They can dive quickly into the deep ocean as they leave Guam's Navy station to avoid being seen. This makes Guam a very valid target for the PLA in case of a conflict with the United States. China went as far as releasing a propaganda video in 2020 depicting a simulated attack on Guam, making no effort to mask its intention. A contingency plan to attack Guam to retain Taiwan in case of a conflict could be on the cards. The United States military has also acknowledged that China's long-range missiles, like the DF-26, pose a significant risk to its military assets in Guam. In August 2017, the PLA purportedly test-fired 4 DF-26 missiles in a simulated attack on a tar battery, suggesting that it intended to launch a rocket barrage and conduct a kick-in-the-door attack to disable U.S. air defenses. The U.S. has been working to bolster the defenses of Guam to guard it against potential Chinese missile attacks. In August this year, The head of the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, Vice Admiral John Hill, detailed the progress towards upgraded air and missile defenses on the strategic island of Guam. The U.S. Army and Navy joined forces on this project with the Missile Defense Agency, MDA. New air and missile defense capabilities are being provided to the island as part of a bigger effort to discourage China throughout the Indo-Pacific area. Higher-ups have discussed the need for Guam to have at least some more defenses in place by 2026. You can read a detailed coverage of Eurasian Times about this here. The U.S. is committed to providing the military support Taiwan needs to protect itself against a Chinese invasion. After China criticized the U.S. for financing weapons sales for Taiwan, the country authorized a potential sale of volcano anti-tank mine-laying systems. In addition, it is boosting its presence in the region as Chinese aggression grows in leaps and bounds.